Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Selena, and this is You Plus Happy. Each week, I bring you someone who challenges us to define happiness and success on their own terms with a dose of laughter. Remember to subscribe to the You Plus Happy YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Instagram and everywhere at You Plus Happy. This week, we have Julia's CEO, Shannon, who is the owner of CSB, among many other things. She is a dynamic and driven millennial serial entrepreneur, domestic violence advocate, brand developer, and strategy consultant. Born and raised in Western South and Seattle, Washington, her natural talent for empowering individuals and businesses to realize their full potential has earned her a prominent place in the world of entrepreneurship. While still in high school, she launched her first venture, which swiftly blossomed into a thriving brand. Since then, Julia's entrepreneurial prowess has led her to establish a series of flourishing enterprises, including ventures in real estate and successful collaborations. The CEO in her name is more than a title. It embodies the ethos of cherish every opportunity, a principle instilled by her family and woven into every encounter and endeavor. And now I need to breathe. Welcome. Welcome, Julia.
Happy to be here.
So thank you so much for being here.
Definitely.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. We're jumping right in.
Cool beans.
How did you get started? It says you started early, but
yes. I started my first business really at 17. I started a company called Designer Bag Fix. So I was like selling knockoffs over the internet. So we ain't gonna talk about that. And I built the website from scratch with one of my classmates who was like studying like aviation, and like we were just bored at the crib. We were just like, let's do something.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I kind of got like my first introduction into like really making money off of like a business outside of seeing like my family.
Yeah.
And at the age of 18, I created a artist management and development agency, and like within the first 30 or 45 days, I like signed my first artist to a label, and I was only 18. So like I couldn't get into the clubs. I couldn't do nothing.
How did you meet your artist?
So what a lot of people don't know is that at that time, between 14 and 18, I actually used to work for Clear Channel.
Okay.
I was their youngest intern. And so with me working there, it was like all these like people are just like, how the hell are you here? Right, and I'm like, I applied just like everybody else. Like I did the same steps. There wasn't nothing new. I think just because I was so young, like the leadership team was just like, we got to take her serious because she's showing up. Like she's been here before.
What makes you execute an idea? A lot of people have a lot of ideas, but it sounds like you have a lot of ideas that are also executed. What makes you do that?
I think like, because I'm just like, if I don't do this, who else is going to do this? Like,
okay.
I think like my main objective is just to see if I can do something. Like, so I'll have like the wildest, I'll ask myself like, what is like the biggest idea you can come up with? And then I was like, then do it. Like,
what happens? We'll get into it, but what happens? It's like, it's one, okay, you know, when you think about something, it feels good. You get all this energy, you feel motivated, and then reality sets in.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that your dreams aren't a reality at all. But the things, everything takes more, I don't want to say everything, but a lot of times when we get into something, it's way more than we thought about when we came up with the idea.
Right.
So what makes you feel like when you hit that first hurdle, because we all hit them, when you hit those hurdles, what makes you like, I don't care?
I think like, because I really don't care. That sounds crazy because I'm like, okay, this is an obstacle. Wow. Okay. What are we going to do? Are you going to just walk away? Like, you're already here.
Yeah.
So I think like, I like psych myself out to keep showing up. Like,
yeah,
regardless, this is what you set out to do. Like for me, if I put something on like Instagram, because I post on my stories, I don't really post so much on my page. If I post it on my stories, I have to make it happen. Like, so that's like my self accountability of like,
yeah,
you put it out there into the world, it's out there in the universe now. Like, now you gotta actually do it.
Yeah, no, I feel that for sure because we've talked about going to networking events and stuff, and if I tell somebody I'm doing something there, I have to do it. Look, it might take longer than I thought, but it's happening. I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing.
Yeah.
Because I said I was gonna do it. And like as soon as it leaves my mouth, I feel like I have to do it or else I'm gonna start looking like
you're gonna look crazy.
Yeah, people are gonna take me seriously. And then the next time I say something, they're gonna be like, I can, yeah, for sure. It's always taken in my history, my past, a little longer than I had anticipated. So I'm sure some people were like, it ain't gonna happen, but then it still comes to fruition.
I used to have like my ex-husband. He had a friend, and his friend would be like, "Oh, I think Julia just be like making up stuff." Because like I'll say a goal, and then because it didn't happen in front of them quick enough, it's like, oh, it ain't happened. But you look at when it comes to like having big goals, it takes time. You gotta lay it break by break by break. So to the outside eyes, like, oh, you ain't doing nothing, but now you don't see that this wall is already halfway built at this point. And by the time you see it now, you can see it because it's visible to you, but we've been working over here.
You can see all the work. And it's true to a sense that you did make it up.
Exactly.
But then you also brought it again to fruition. So we do make up our dreams and our goals and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
There's so much information. I'm like, I do want to talk about, I know it's very early on, but the show is about overcoming things. And then there was more to the bio, but y'all saw I ran out of breath, so we had to stop. but in your bio, you mentioned that you had to deal with homelessness. The new word is unhoused.
Why is it unhoused? That's crazy.
Girl.
Why are we relabeling labels? That's crazy.
I just think anybody's listening and they're offended, like, oh my God, she said that. No, I agree. But you dealt with that. How? And then were you working 3 jobs at the same time?
Yeah.
So how was that?
So like it was so crazy. I was a diamond consultant at the time, and then I was also working at a catering company, like catering like large fundraisers, or like $10,000 a table. And then I think my third job at that time was like I was an admin assistant somewhere.
Okay.
And so at the time, I was about 20 years old, and I ended up having to sleep on my friend's couch. And my friend, she lived with her mom, and so her mom one day was like, "Oh, you gotta get out the house." I was like, "Damn, okay." So
Did you just overstayed your welcome?
No, it was just like until like her mom would like want me to do favors for her, and like my friend would be like, "Don't be, doing her favors and stuff." So I was like kind of stuck in between both of them. And so when she was like, "Oh, you gotta go," I was like, "Damn, all right." Yeah. So I ended up sleeping in hotel hallways. So like I would stumble in there like I was a guest checking into my hotel, and then I would wait for one of the other guests to like press the floor, and then like I would follow them to that floor. They go to their room. I go to the end of the hallway, and I would like crash in the hallway till it was time to get out before the cleaners came, obviously, because that was awkward.
Yeah.
And then like I would sleep on like buses, like as far as when the buses, I would ride one of the longest buses all the way through town. And I would be on the bus with like all the people that you would normally pass on the street that are homeless. And that was so interesting for me being in that world where I'm like, I got 3 jobs and I'm on the bus. Like, I'm not crazy. I don't have any alcohol addictions. All those perceptions that people usually have, like, oh, that's why they're homeless. It's like, no, you can be homeless just because life is lifing in a way that's not in your benefit. And at the time, I had a landlord. She robbed me. I put the money down for a place. She was like, "Oh, I don't think you can afford it," and took my money and never gave me the keys. And I was just like, damn, I saved up 4 paychecks to make that happen. Yeah. And like,
How long was that period?
That period was like, I want to say like 60 days.
So, oh, because you just had to stack the money back up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a silly question, but what is a diamond consultant?
So a diamond consultant is the person that tells you the quality of the diamonds that you're looking at.
Okay, so you were a diamond. Okay.
So I tell you the grade, the price point, the blemishes, all that stuff.
When you said you were a Jill of all trades, so back to the dealing with that. What were your thoughts? What was going through your mind during that time of the hallways?
I remember like being on the bus one day and like, you know how you have like those auto charges that you wasn't expecting. So I like had my last $50 in my account, and I think some auto charge took it. And I'm on the bus and I see it. I'm just like, I just started bawling on the bus. And I'm just like, I'm tired. Like, I called my best friend. I was like, look, I'm going to quit. I'm just going to stop. Like, I don't want to keep trying anymore. And she was like, all you know how to do is keep trying. Like, you don't know how to give up if like somebody paid you $1 million right now to give up. Like, you don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
And when she said that, it like dinged on in my head, like, yeah, you gonna figure this out. You need to figure this out. Use your brain, use your resources, figure it out.
That's what that goes back to, it's important who you choose to have in your life, because that's something you know, but sometimes you need a reminder, right?
Yep.
That's so important that you had that person that you could call, even that you even chose to call her.
Right.
Because you could have just been like, no, I'm just done, and not call anybody.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of us do. We're just like, we get in our problems and we become so ashamed. Like, I don't want to share this with nobody. Like, I'm just like, I can't be embarrassed at this point. Like, I don't got nothing to lose. Like,
that I was thinking that when you said you called her, because it takes courage, I feel like, to call someone and tell them your problems. And I know for me, I keep things in and I don't tell anybody. And then it just gets bad.
Exactly. You see, you can't do that. And you can't do that. Like, because over time, like, what's going to happen is your body's going to reach its ceiling of like, so you really not going to ask for help? Okay. I'm gonna shut everything down.
Yeah.
And then that's when your world implodes because you ain't asking for help.
Yeah. So you just got out of it by saving?
No, I got out of it by hustling and putting in some resources. So like what I ended up doing was I went on Craigslist. I looked for a room to rent. And so I'm staying with complete strangers. Yes. And I took my next check because I was getting paid weekly. I took that check and I just threw it all into a room. And I was like, okay, if I can get into a room, then I can figure out my next step from there. And like, so it's just breaking things down in smaller pieces is how like I execute everything. It's like, okay, here's the big thing. We can worry about the big thing, or we can focus on what's gonna get us closer.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking that 60-day time, you didn't have any downtime, because you got to be hyper aware all the time, hyper alert, and then always your brain is always spinning like, okay, where am I gonna stay tonight?
Yep.
Where am I gonna bathe?
Yeah.
Where am I gonna eat? Like, and then when you're
it's cold, it's like almost 16 degrees outside. Cold.
This is in Seattle?
Yes. Like, so it was crazy. Like, in your brain, when you lose your basic needs, like food, shelter, your brain gets to thinking all types of crazy things.
No, for real. There's I forgot the name of it, but it's a hierarchy, you know, the pyramid, and there's a name for it, but the bottom is shelter and food. And it's like, without that, you can't, it's like almost impossible to think about the other things.
Yeah.
Those things are almost on autopilot. You're not showing up for those things in the same way. That sucks. What did you learn? What was the thing that you learned from that experience?
That it can happen to anybody. I think it really made me see like, you know, a whole different world. Like, it's one thing to like pass people by on the street and be like, damn, like that sucks. it's another thing to actually be with those people and see that, hey, I'm actually in this group, like we're a community.
Yeah.
And also seeing like the different survival tactics and the different things that you have to do in order to like survive in that type of environment. So it just really made me think like you're never too far from move. You're literally one decision away from this happening to you at any given time. Like a fire could happen at your house. Boom, you lose everything.
Right.
You on the street, you can lose your job. You can be in a bad accident and, you know, be immobile for a while. Boom, you're on the street. Like it's so many different things. And then like hearing some of their stories, I'm just like, yeah, it ain't that bad for you, kid. Like,
Yeah.
you can still get up.
Yeah. My brain went to, it doesn't matter. That's not helpful.
It's not helpful, but I mean, say it.
No, just thinking about, that's good to put things in perspective on one end, and then on the other end is it makes me feel like, for me, I would like a little bit fearful. Like I always got to stay on top of things. Like I always got to stay on top. We've all, I won't say we've all, but I know we've been, most people have been in a tricky situation before, period.
Yep.
And then for me, it's like, I don't know if it's PTSD, but it's like this paranoia that kind of sticks with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it gonna, oh, I got to prevent that. I ain't gonna make on that road.
Yeah.
Is that what anything that you deal with?
Yeah, like for me, I'm naturally the type of person where I don't get mad. Like I naturally don't get mad. The only time that I actually get mad is if something is directly impacting my livelihood. So if something is directly putting me in a position to be on the street again, we have a problem, you know? Yeah. So it's not necessarily like, oh, a money thing. Money, you always want to be having disputes with people about money. But if you're directly impacting me having somewhere to sleep, that's a problem.
Right. Because that's just security. And that's like, yeah.
Yeah. Your home is your peace.
Yes. Okay. Ooh, that's a tricky subject. Stress. Switching gears. So I was also thinking about, so for your career, you do a lot of things and you make a lot of people a lot of money. How did you, because I know you've always been an entrepreneur since 17, but how did you get into the place where it's like, I'm going to make other people money? Like,
I think one, me just naturally wanting to help people make their goals happen. And then money just happens to be involved. Yeah. So it's like people come to me like with bits and pieces of ideas and like, oh, well, I thought about this, and it's like incomplete thoughts. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And it's like I collect all of that and then like I throw it on the canvas and I make it something more than what it was when they first even thought of it. And like for me, I thought like, wow, like I've done this time after time after time. I wonder how I can really do this on a larger scale and make money from it. And like once I really seen that there's a direct pathway to really making money from it, I was like, it's go time.
How do you meet the people?
Through just random conversations.
Because they hire you. And these are strangers, essentially.
Yeah.
And you just meet them.
Mostly every client I've ever had was a complete stranger. And then from there, I've gotten clients that have referred me from that complete stranger. But for the most part, it started off with, they didn't know nothing about me. I didn't know nothing about them.
How do you present yourself? Like, how do you make them want to work with you?
That's a secret sauce. No, I don't know if I'm talking about it. It's just a matter of, I'm going to ask questions, right? So it can start off just like how when I met you, right? I met you during Joe's interview.
Go watch it. Joseph. Yes,
definitely watch it. Check out Atlanta Late Night Show. But also, you know, I asked you, oh, hey, you know, what else do you do? You know, where are you from? So just basic conversations. And then from there, I may ask, what is a goal that you're trying to do? And then that's That's what I asked you. You said, I'm trying to get more subscribers. And I start bing, 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 giving you feedback. Giving you feedback and tactics and different things you could do to make that happen like right now. And usually when I do that, people are like, so what do you do? And I'm like, oh, what I just did is what I do.
Yeah. Okay. A consultant, right?
Yep. Strategic consultant.
Strategic consultant. I don't think a lot of people, I don't know. It's not a, those career, one of the goals of the show is like exposure too, right? For this You Plus Happy show. And it's like, I want people to be open to different ways of living their lives. And I feel like that's not a career we hear a lot.
No.
And so
you hear it in movies.
Strategic consultant.
Yeah, like you hear it in movies. You're just like, consultant. Okay. And so the real definition of a consultant is improving your client's condition, either through knowledge, so giving them your knowledge, sharing value in that sense, giving them processes or actual tasks that they can execute, or giving them resources. So if I know somebody that has a venue and you're looking for a space and I connect you to, that's me providing a resource and improving your condition because you didn't have a venue at first.
Yeah. What's the top 3 skills you need? Because it sounds like you have a lot of resources, but you didn't have those resources when you started, right?
At all. At all. I had determination. So determination to find my answer. So I never present myself to clients as like, I know everything, I'm the end all be all to all your answers. No, I don't. I am smart, and I know a lot of talented, smart people too. And I know that everything that we want in this world is a phone call away from somebody. So if I don't know it, I know I can reach somebody that has it and know it, and we can pull it together.
Yeah.
So that determination just to ask people questions and to even just constantly learn and improve is like the biggest, like you just have that you're going to be successful in it.
You have the skill to figure it out, basically. And I think tell me what you think. Some of these folks, it's not just that they can't figure it out for themselves, but it's like, I'm busy. So let me delegate this task. That's what I hear. A thing that I'm starting to hear consistently of successful people delegate. Is that true?
What people don't tell you about delegation is that there's a true science to it.
Okay.
Everybody leaves that part out. They're like, oh yeah, you should delegate. I can tell you about a time where, because I chose to delegate without understanding the science behind it, I lost maybe about $150,000 just from delegating without knowing. So when you delegate, you have to set people up for success in order to delegate. So you have to give them clear expectations on what you want their output to be. Because you can say, oh, hey, I need you to type this. But if I don't tell you the guidelines, hey, I need you to type this letter to a senator because I'm trying to earn X, Y from them or get a meeting with them, that gives you more direction to do the job correctly. But also, too, you got to be able to read people and see what skills are their natural abilities. Like, is this something that you're naturally good at, or is this not in your wheelhouse and I'm trying to force you to do this? Now, you're going to have an issue because you're not finishing it, or you are frustrated with it because it's not something that you naturally do or like to do. And now I'm frustrated because it hasn't gotten done. It hasn't gotten done.
To get done. Okay. I want to go to so you I would imagine you work with people from all different walks of life. And I may have asked this in another way, but what makes you feel comfortable talking to anybody in the room? Like, you know what I mean?
Because we're just people.
You don't get intimidated.
No. Like, if I was talking to somebody that is like on a Jeff Bezos status, I'm going to still be like, hey, what do you do? I do not care. I don't discriminate. Because like I said, I just know that if you remove the titles, like, oh, I'm the VP of this, or I have that, If you remove all the material stuff and if you remove the bank account, what are you? You're just like me. You've had a number of experiences and wisdom, and you've gone through life. And I'm pretty sure if I ask you about you, you can talk about that all day. But if I ask you about me, what do you have to say? So that's why I've never understood when people like try to earn business relationships. They just start off with, so this is what I do. I do this and that. What do you need? Oh, what you doing?
Yeah, ask questions.
Yeah, ask people about themselves, because rarely we don't get a lot of opportunity to talk about ourselves.
Right. Dang, I forgot, because I was thinking about that. So another reason I feel like the titles don't matter to you, because one, you have so many. and then, you know, from the picture that we're painting, that they can change like that.
Yeah.
So, and you're not attached to them.
Definitely not attached. I will knock off a title in a heartbeat. And like, I think that came from me having so much experience in corporate America and seeing so many people like backstab each other over this title. Like, you was promoted, so now your best friend, your day one that you started the job with, you cut through, you talking bad about them to the manager and just doing all types of stuff just because you want to climb this ladder, and you're hoping that, well, if I show loyalty to this person's cause, maybe they'll value me more. And it's like, no, show loyalty to your cause. If you're a good person, be a good person all day, every day, no matter the situation.
Yeah. Does that come from fear and a lack of trusting yourself? Because it's like, what I'm hearing is like, you're so attached to climbing it in this way, you don't see another way, and you're willing to compromise anything, but you're also so scared because you're so attached to this outcome.
Yep.
Okay.
And like, naturally we don't trust ourselves, because like, you gotta think, like, school teaches you not to trust yourself. You gotta trust whatever is in this book. Don't trust, that's why they want you to show your work in a math problem, because if you didn't write it out how they wanted you to write it out, and you're solving the problem in another way, it's a problem. So you're naturally conditioned not to trust yourself. Right.
Damn, y'all.
Yeah, so it's like, as you get older, it becomes easier and easier not to listen to your inner voice that tells you, no, I don't think you should do that. Or no, I don't think this job is right for you. Or, hey, I think you should advocate for yourself. I think you should say something.
Yeah.
I went head to head with the VP at a job that I worked at because she was talking to me crazy. And I was just like, ma'am, at 5 o'clock, you're a regular civilian. I don't care who you are in this organization. I'm going to respect you. You should also respect me.
Yeah.
Regardless if I'm the janitor, regardless if I'm your equal per title, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, that's really important. I'm big on, that's not important, but treating me like a human at all times. I'm not going to compromise that. And I don't care what is on the table.
Exactly.
But that's my value. I can't tell someone to have that value. But that comes from, you trust that you will be fine. You can find something else, and you know that about yourself. And so that allows you to navigate rooms in a different way.
Yeah, like, I'm quick. Like, for me to have worked over 40 jobs in almost every industry, I'm quick to either get fired or fire myself, because I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is not for me. And when I really fired myself from the last corporate job I ever had, I was like, y'all never seen me again.
How long ago was that?
2018.
And so since then, you've just been not just, but working for yourself, and being a consultant.
Full time. No backup, no nothing.
Knock on wood, my goal is to never go back to corporate, because it does not align with my personality or my values or anything.
Well, you don't have to knock on wood for that thing, because you just said it.
I just said it to you.
Yeah.
I gotta call you, Julia. I'm gonna be DMing you like, remember I said?
You just said it. You just said, I'm not gonna go back to corporate because it does not align with my values and how I want to be treated.
Yep.
And it's as simple as that.
No, for real. A lot of people want funding for a lot of things, and you have been fundraising lots of money per your bio. How?
It's about the story. Like, so let's say I have an ice cream shop. I wanna start. Am I starting my ice cream shop just because I want to make money, or am I starting the ice cream shop to actually have a legacy and provide something for the neighborhood kids to be a part of and actually have a safe, relatable spot that they can go to enjoy good ice cream, and where families can come and spend their weekends? That's a more valuable story than, hey, I just need some money to open this ice cream shop.
Yeah, I was talking about this recently with someone. We're never buying the thing that we're buying a story, right? So that's what you're selling. So that's, if someone's listening to this and they're working on a fundraiser, or they just want to find funding for something, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, be very clear about who's the audience you're serving.
Okay.
Like, who's the audience you're serving, and what is it that they're getting out of it? Like, at the same instance, I want to raise, $50,000. But what do you want to do with that $50,000? Do you want to just pay yourself, get some wigs, go on a trip, or are you trying to put it back into the community so it can serve over and over again?
How do you get in the rooms? Who do you call?
I mean,
because you're asking somebody for $50,000. You're not over at the Target, or you ain't at the whatever. You're not on the rooftop at brunch. Like, you might be. No, but you know which ones I'm talking
about. Yeah. You're not asking nobody for $50,000 over Whistle While You Twerk.
No, that's what you're not at bottomless mimosas and playing Let That Breathe. That's not what you ask. That's not
baby daddy.
That's not where this is happening.
No.
So where are these rooms? How do people find these people? How? Because a lot of times, again, we're not exposed. That's not even on our radar.
Right.
So how?
I put myself in like a lot of tech rooms.
Okay.
A lot of tech events, because there's naturally investors there.
Okay.
They're looking for the next big thing. I also put myself in a lot of like rooms with bankers. So I build relationships with bankers so I can understand what are their requirements, what are they willing to do, what are they willing not to do. And then also too, just like looking out into like your community, because you'd be surprised how much funding a lot of these cities are giving to small businesses. Like, I remember just last year, I think it was Clayton County. If you were starting a business in Clayton County, they were giving you a $50,000 grant just for starting a business there.
So so some of this is some research as far as what the city is offering and for what. And so that's just like, whatever you're listening to this line, you could just type Google, right?
Yeah. It's just like Googling, like, what resources does such and such county have for small businesses?
Yeah.
Like figuring out, going to like the county's commissioner office and pulling their budget. Every city has a budget. And so if you can pull that budget, you can see how much they're willing to allocate for small businesses and development and other different things.
And they tell you the requirements.
Or you can call somebody there and ask, hey, can you point me to the person? Like I said, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, can you point me to this person? Because I don't know who I'm supposed to talk to about this.
Yeah. And so I've never done fundraising or asked an investor to invest in me. Y'all can invest in me today.
Definitely.
No, but what do you so there's a difference between obviously a city investor or city funding versus private, right? So if you're at the tech places, I sound very ignorant, y'all, but we'll figure it out together. But if we're at the tech conference or networking, that's what I would imagine. This is kind of, and then the business, the bankers, these are private, right? Or they're just like,
they're public networking events, so you can find them on Eventbrite.
But the people there, they're private. They would be a private investor or a private funder, typically.
Yeah.
And
or so if it's a bank, it would be like a lender.
And you have to be ready to show them how they're going to get their money back.
Yeah, like you gotta have your best pitch. Like, what is it that you're doing? What is the impact it's gonna have? who are you serving, how much money you need, and why. Most people don't have a plan for the money that they're asking for. They're just asking for money because it sounds like the good thing to do.
Right, right. Because with people listening, I think this is super valuable information, even for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, first you got to find the room. I think too, be confident enough to go in the room.
Yeah.
And then, but before you get there, lots of preparation.
Yeah.
For what you are asking for.
Yeah. Or even if you don't know how to prepare, go to those rooms and just listen. Listening is like going to be your best resource because you can just hear. You can, if you go to pitch competitions where there's investors in the room, you can hear people's pitches and try and figure out like, ooh, okay, that's a good pitch. You'd be like, oh, damn, that's a bad pitch. I don't want to have that type of pitch.
There's pitch competitions?
Yes.
All I'm doing is podcasting, y'all. And not even thinking about these other options.
Yeah, I'm even trying to plan a pitch competition for July. I'm trying to give away $5,000.
And then if people want to be on the other end, if they want to invest or they want to donate, because also what I'm hearing, this is not a handout. This is not this is not a donation. I think I just said that. It's not a donation. It's not a handout. This is an investment. And that's why they need to know numbers. It doesn't matter how much they like you. Yep. It doesn't matter. Why am I acting like now I know?
You got it. You got it.
It's making sense to me because if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you $5,000. If I ask you for the $5,000, you're not like, oh, here, baby, here go $5,000. Right. It's like, no, how am I getting my $5,000 back, boo?
Yeah, with interest.
Hello? And so you make those deals and you make those plans. Do you sign a contract when they do this?
So it depends. So like if they're doing it as like a grant, then you'll fill out the paperwork saying that it's a grant being granted to your business.
Okay.
Because that is essentially like a charitable write-off for them. Essentially.
Okay.
But if it's an actual like loan and I'm asking, hey, I'm investing $5,000, I want 10% of your business in equity, or I want to give you a credit line of $5,000, and you have to pay me back, let's say $7,500 within a 3-year time span. We're signing paperwork.
Yeah.
We're signing paperwork. I'm gonna know where your mama stay, where your daddy stay. Like I'm gonna know as much as I possibly can about you because I am going into business with you now.
Are there shady investors? Oh, the shady people everywhere. So you should have a lawyer look at those. Yeah, that paperwork, right?
Definitely, but a lawyer that has your best interest,
right? Not their lawyer.
Yeah,
your own
lawyer. Don't let them be like, no, I have my lawyer. Look at it. Just go ahead and sign right here. Don't do that.
Because sometimes we can let our thirst for, or sometimes we being honest, we're in a bad situation financially, right? Not we buying that, but I don't wish that on anybody. But sometimes if somebody's offering you $50,000, something like that, you can get a little hasty and a little bit not being as thorough. And I think that's when that being smart and just being patient and calming down, and finding the right folks. And if they're rushing you and all that, they're probably not some bad sign.
No. And then also too, you can scare the money away. Like you could talk yourself out of getting funded. Like people don't realize that.
What's one thing you could say?
Like again, being overly eager. So like let's say for instance, like you see I'm in the room and you may have Googled my net worth and found out like, oh, you have X amount of money. Hey, so I was thinking I got this business. You should invest $10,000 because I need it because I have this plan. Da, 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 da. Whoa. I may have been interested to possibly hear your pitch, but this isn't the time or the place, nor did you invite me into a real conversation so I can get to know you. You came to me and just spitball everything that you wanted, and you didn't even ask if I wanted or needed anything.
Everything, remember, it's a relationship, it's an exchange. There's two people or two sides in this coming together, and then that being overzealous is not good in these spaces.
No, not at all. And they can smell it a mile away, and it's just like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person.
Right, because they've also gotten to a certain level. Everybody's background is different, but I would imagine a lot of those folks didn't get there by not knowing what they're doing and not knowing how to talk to people.
And then there's like, you can invest in bad deals. Like every deal is not going to be fruitful. Like even for me, like when I was doing the Airbnb space, I had 6 houses, and I had this realtor call me, and she's like, "Hey, I have a house for you. You want to take it over? It was mine, but I don't want it anymore." And so me being eager, I'm like, "Oh yeah, like I'm trying to build this portfolio up. Like let's do it." And so she's like, "All right, great." I checked it out. I was like, "Okay, I can make this work." I asked her if there's any problems with the house. "No, everything's fine. I just can't find a suitable cleaner for it." That should have been a red flag. Because why? Because of one problem, why are you willing to give me an opportunity? So a lot of things can be masked as opportunities, and they're not. They're an opportunity for that person to get rid of, but it's not an opportunity for you.
Right.
And I didn't do my due diligence because I was spread thin. I was like back and forth between here and Houston and everything else. I was just like, all right, cool. Where's the lease? I'm gonna sign it. Boom. I took over the house. I had another investor who wanted to invest with me. And he was just like, yeah, let's do this. All right, cool. Get the house. I want to say 30 days later, I realized why she gave me the house. I had a senator staying in the house, and the neighbors were harassing him and threatening him with his family, with his wife and his kids.
Oh no.
And I was like, she knew these neighbors were out of pocket.
Right. So with investing and with funding, I mean, you can't be afraid to take a risk.
Mm-mm.
And then if you do enough, one's gonna not go well, and you just have to get up.
Yeah, you're gonna lose money. Like you can't be afraid to lose money. That's what, if you start a business, if you invest in a business, you are gonna lose. Like, I don't know nobody that's just, I've been taking wins all my life. Like, what? You're a liar. No, you haven't.
All I do is win, win, win.
Yeah, like, that is a lie. No. I win, I lose, I win, I lose. Yeah. But I keep going. And so that's where it's just like there's some times where you're gonna take a loss that's gonna really knock the wind out you. You're gonna be like, oh, I can't breathe. You're gonna be like, okay, how are we gonna do this?
How do you get up from those moments?
Just determination of like, if I did it once, I can do it again.
What if it's your first one?
If it's your first one, then it's like, brace yourself. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna sting for a while. Most of the time, it's your ego that's bruised the most. A lot of times, it's your ego that's bruised, and it's like, oh my God, we are a failure.
Okay.
And you're not a failure. It just didn't work out. But you need to figure out why it didn't work out.
Right.
So if you can figure that out and make a mental note, write it down physically, whatever, you know what to look for. You can ask yourself, what could I have looked out for that could have possibly prevented this?
Yeah.
And that's how problem solving really is. It's like, okay, what's the problem? What is all the different things that we need to look at? And what are all the resources that we have that could tackle this?
I've had some people, quite a few successful, well, I don't want to say the word successful, but have had thriving, because the whole point of the show is defining it for yourself. But so I don't want to like define it for anyone, but they've had businesses that made money.
Yeah.
And what I'm starting to hear a trend of is like, you can call them what you want, but failures or things that didn't go how you had planned for them to go, it's just a learning experience for real. And it sounds so cliche, but I keep hearing it. It's just like, analyze it. What I'm hearing to have a business that makes money consistently is you have to be analytical kind of, and like a researcher, a studier of your own situation. Like, and you got to sit down and study. You got to see it through, my boy. Like, and you gotta like, where did I do that? Okay, I see where I missed. But that's just like athletes watch their tapes.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, I see where I dropped the ball. Okay, okay.
Or that's how they study their opponents. To see like, oh, okay, I see he always double dribble when he get up to the thing. Like, you got to do that with anything that you do. Is like, okay, if I really want to get better at this, who do I need to kind of shadow? Because,
Mhm.
you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I suffer with imposter syndrome because I'm building this. You're doing it. As long as you're doing it, you're not an imposter. An imposter is somebody that's not doing it and they showing up like, I have done everything.
Yeah.
That's an imposter. That's a fraud.
No, okay. That would be like me going to one boxing class and then I go hang with boxers. It's like, y'all be boxing, y'all. But I didn't do it.
Yeah, that would be like you saying, I'm a professional boxer. You're not a professional boxer. You're an aspiring boxer. Like, you're building yourself up, you know, and it's okay to own that space. Right. You don't have to walk into every space like, yeah, I'm killing the game. Like,
sometimes there's seasons. Yeah. This season I'm a student. And then as I grow, then I will become the next, you know. Mm-hmm. When you said imposter syndrome, I'm glad you brought that up because I've been thinking about that throughout this conversation, and I don't want to project onto listeners, and I know I'm not projecting onto you, but and I can only speak for me. I have had it's not, well, imposter for sure, but some of those conditioning. One of my favorite quotes is by Russell Brand, and he said, if you're not running on your own program, you're running on someone else's mentally. And so, and that's something that I didn't even realize one of the programs I'm running on. That I know there's privilege in being a woman. I know there's privilege in being a Black woman or a woman of color, but sometimes I let those the other side of it come into, because when you said tech room and banker, I'm like, I don't belong there. Like, no, damn it, I belong anywhere I choose to be, but still with preparation.
Yeah, I'm not just proper etiquette and respect for people's time and space.
Okay. I think that's something that I've like even unconsciously been working on, because I ended up in a room with all these like old white entrepreneur, like business owners, and this was like a couple months ago, and it was marketed as an art networking. So I don't know what happened. How they got this. I don't know what happened.
But might have been the ones buying the art.
No, for real. So I had on my J-Lo hoops and my my little hip hop outfit, I guess. And I was like, I went in the corner. I swear, I went in like the corner. I act like I was looking at a book or something that was like in the corner, and I was like, Selena, you're in this room. And you gonna work it. It's okay. And I just talked to them like regular, and they were kind. No one was dismissive of me.
Nope.
And I exchanged information with folks, and I wasn't like, I didn't say girls to anybody or stuff like that. I'm not. Right. That is my personality, but depending on where I am, it's not appropriate in that space. So of course, it wasn't a switch up. It's just. Treating the room how it needs to be treated, like know your audience.
Exactly.
And so I did, fix that up a bit. But other than that, I still was myself.
Right.
And I didn't feel like I was wearing a mask or anything like that. And that room did teach me, oh, it's okay. Just be confident and it's fine.
Yes.
And sometimes that confidence is really, really hard. And I didn't know that was going to be that long of a tangent, y'all. But it's important, though, because if we don't build that, and it's a muscle, right? Mm-hmm. And if we don't build that, we're going to stay out of those rooms.
Exactly.
And we're going to stay where we are.
Yep.
And it's like that old cliche, like be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, because like your brain is like, you got to think about it. Your brain's only job is to protect itself.
Yep.
And protect this body. That is my only job, my only function. So if you are daydreaming, because that's what you're doing, is daydreaming about, if I go in this room, they gonna laugh at me, they gonna tell me to get out, what you're doing here, they gonna look at me crazy. You're telling your brain, oh, there's danger here, we don't want to go there.
Yep.
And that's the story you're telling yourself. But you got to reprogram yourself to say, what's the best thing that can happen if I go in this room? What am I missing out on if I'm not in this room?
Yep.
And if you say that to yourself, it reprograms you to say, I know I had an excuse on why I shouldn't be in here, but I'm gonna go anyway because I'm gonna miss out on, I don't know what I'm gonna miss out.
Yeah. And you'll get better. I always compare everything to like the gym. The first time you go, you're not gonna be killing it. You're not killing the game that day. Sorry. Like you said, like sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes you might just walk on the treadmill, but you showed up.
Exactly.
And then you just keep showing up. And I do want to say a quick silly thing that happened. I was nervous, so I said something very stupid.
What did you say?
I said there was a guy. He was from I think Spain or something. So he doesn't know all the city and states here. And I was standing next to an American man, and he said, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm from Maryland." And he said, "Oh, is that a he said, "Is that a city or a state or something?" I said, "It's a country." And then the guy next to me was American. He's like, "No, it's a state." I was like, "No, oh yes, I was like, it's a state. I'm sorry, it's just a little snafu there." I didn't say snafu, but I was like, I was so nervous, and that was the first person I was talking to in the room. So after that little hiccup, I was like, "All right, Selena, you gotta lock it up." So I don't want to say, I said that to say it's funny, but it's also mistakes or hiccups.
Yeah, you're gonna have awkward moments. I have awkward moments with people all the time. Like it's gonna happen. You can't prevent it.
Yeah.
You just gotta be like, "Woo, glad that's over."
And I was like, I got in the car like, it's a country,
right?
Really? It's a country, really? But
definitely.
But it's you laugh at yourself, and you learn that Maryland's not a country, and you keep going, and just like we said, I think if you keep going, you just build that muscle, and it gets a little bit better. But I don't know, because I've been doing the podcast for 2-3 years now, and I still get nervous when I release an episode. So I don't.
Why? What do you work with the nerves?
I always say the quote from Carrie, the horror movie, like, they're gonna laugh at you, they're gonna laugh at me. Just like a little bit of imposter, like, am I a real podcaster? I keep doing this, and the numbers are here, and people. But then I tell myself, this is what I love to do, and then the other side, my L dog side, comes in, and it's like, I'm gonna make next.
Yeah.
So that's how you gotta be. How do you hype yourself up?
That's where the Julia CEO stands for. So it's like the CEO, like, that's where I pull that dog out. And I'm like, show up. Like, you Julia CEO, like, what? It's like nothing. Like,
yeah.
And you have to have that. You have to be the man in your corner, hyping the fighter up, like, yeah, champ, you got this. Like,
no, you gotta do that. Who else gonna do it?
Nobody. Nobody is gonna do it on a consistent level as
for
you.
Real.
So it's like you have to, like, I don't do like mirror work, but I definitely was talking in my head, like, no, you got this, you do this. This is, and if it doesn't go how we planned, cool. Let's learn from it. What are we gonna take from it?
Yeah.
But you leaving out of here with something. We're leaving out here with something.
There ain't no lie there. Speaking of something, also in your bio, you won a $1 million cannabis contract.
Yes.
Tell me everything.
Oh my god.
whatever you want.
So I had a mutual friend that I used to work with at Clear Channel, and me and her hadn't talked in like years, and she called me one day. She said, "Hey, I have a friend. They're down in California. They're starting a cannabis company. Is it okay if I share your information with them, because they need a website, they need all these other different things?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So we had the meeting. Meeting went great. At first, they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, your price is too high, so we're gonna go somewhere else." Okay, cool, no problem. 3 weeks later, "Hey, so can you send me an invoice?" Sure can. I definitely can. And so I did the first website for the first store, and then I built their whole cannabis delivery system. So like Uber for weed. And I built it. I set up the system for it, how it would notify the drivers, how they would keep track of like the customer orders and everything. And when they saw what I was capable of, it was like, "Okay, yeah, so we're going to give you $1 million contract to do all 76 stores." Cool. Say less. I'd say by month 3, because usually with large contracts, you don't get all the money up front. So I think at this point they had satisfied maybe like $30,000 or $40,000 within like a 3 month span. The owner was very verbally abusive to his staff. Mm-hmm. And so I had actually flew out to California for a grand opening of one of the stores. And I was also there to do some work there, but I also was there to pick up my money as well too. So he gave me the runaround and was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go to the thing, this weekend, so I'm happy for you." I said, "Okay." Needless to say, I didn't leave California with my money. He had another excuse, and so I want to say less than 30 days later, he defaulted on payment, and I stripped down everything that I built. And so after that, he was like very verbally abusive to me and was like, "You're a Black woman doing this to a Black man." And I said, "You're a Black man doing this to a Black woman. Don't do this." But it taught me a valuable lesson of one, just because I had to call an attorney at that point, because I'm just like, you defaulted and you have no reason to default. Like this is what you said, this is the work I'm producing. Why are you not upholding to your end of the bargain? And I think one of the definite things that I'd say to people is communicate with people. Especially if you are rendering services for somebody or you're providing services to somebody. Like communicate whether or not you're going to be able to do the job. Communicate if you're not going to be able to pay for the job.
Right.
Because there's a lot of things that could be figured out. You may have somebody that's willing to be patient and wait for the money or wait for whatever, you just don't know what possible solutions you guys can come up with. But when you completely disregard and just break communication with people, you leave room for assumptions. And when assumptions happen, it's a whole nother story than what is actually going on your part.
I think what you just said is so important. And like, y'all go back and rewind like 30 seconds and listen to it again. Cause it's like, I don't even know, I don't need to add anything to it, but it's just like, being completely open. And that's what I was thinking when you were saying that it goes back to the ego and that fear. Because I mean, what you just said, those numbers, I don't know about everybody, but for me, those sound like big numbers. And then there's a lot of moving pieces, right? It wasn't just you two. You know what I mean?
I have a whole team that I'm accounting for.
And he does too, I would imagine. The 70 plus stores. So it's like, that's when that pride comes in, and then you're just like scared to get in front of it. Mm-hmm. And I've been there even in certain situations, and it's like, oh, I'm sweating. And I'm like, I gotta tell them this not gonna be ready the day I see it. Exactly. But I gotta tell them that because it's gonna get worse.
Exactly.
The longer you ignore and let it pile up. But you gotta put that ego aside, and it's not even being, rude. It's just the truth, right?
The truth is the truth. Like, I'm not going to make it any better. I'm going to say, this is where we are. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. Let's figure it out.
And you think, in your experience, most people are reasonable.
Yeah, most people are if you've given them enough time to process. Right. But at the same instance, if you wait to the last minute, and today I'm supposed to have what I need from you in order to do whatever it is I was planning to do with it, and you just now telling me it's not done. You could have told me this a month ago, 2 weeks ago, and I could have better prepared or anticipated.
Yeah. And fear is blinding, because then if you're person A, you're blinded by what you can't do or what you got going on, but you're not I think it's important to put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Yes.
They might be counting on the money or whatever the deliverable is.
Yep.
They have people to answer to too, or they might be anxious about it too. It's just like eliminating empathy.
Yes.
And getting caught up in your own stuff. And I don't want to call it selfish because I don't think it's intentionally selfish, but it is like you're just operating from this like really, really all-consuming, self-consuming place.
Yeah, like you gotta think about it. If you mess up at your job, who is stepping in front of you to be accountable for that mess up? Your manager or your boss or whoever, the owner. So when you remove yourself from a corporate structure and you put yourself in any business, you are that person that has to respond. You are that person that has to have an answer. The person that says, hey, this is what happened. I'm sorry. What can we do to make it right?
Yeah, and this is why it happened. I think I always talk about this, the offering whys. Mm-hmm. What are we doing to remedy this?
Yeah.
Or all of those things. And I think one of the things I'm hearing too, especially when it's a new situation, I think it's good to have a mentor or somebody, mm-hmm. Because they would kind of give you like, because I don't think everybody talks about entrepreneurship. Yeah. You know, I'm from Baltimore. We had troubles with our R's. Earn. Look it up. But with entrepreneurship, and owning our own businesses, and that's wonderful. I'm not putting that down at all. But there's so much that comes with it, and being the boss, it costs to be the boss, mm-hmm. and you need mentors as well. When you're running your own thing, you still need to talk. These are people. They don't have a vested interest in that specific thing, but they can look at it from an outside perspective, and you can go to them like, "You are messed up. I don't got a 30K."
Yeah, exactly.
So when you trust, and they're like, "Okay, well, you did fuck up.
Yeah,
but this is what we need to do."
Exactly.
And I know the conversation wouldn't probably go like that, but I'm just being silly.
It would, because it's like, you know, they're not biased because they don't know every single detail. You're just telling them, oh my God, this is the problem. Like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. And they're gonna be like, yeah, you need to show up. You need to do something about that.
A mentor who has done these things, because they'll know.
Yeah, a mentor that has been scorned and showed back up and still has a smile.
Battle wounds.
Yeah, like you don't want a mentor that hasn't been through nothing.
No.
Like, no.
I always talk about that. Like, do not listen to people who've never done it. Like, I've never done anything that you've done that you're describing. So I'm not giving any advice on it. I'm asking someone who's done it. And you listen to Julia, not me. I mean, I've had fear. I've been scared. And I've messed up on some deliverables in my day.
Yeah. And you can speak from that experience. Because it's necessarily like I tell all of my clients, like, I'm not a great consultant because, like, I'm going to tell you how to do everything perfect. I'm a great consultant because I'm going to tell you how to avoid falling into a pit and not being able to get yourself back up.
Yeah. That's why a team is so important. No one does anything. We hear this stuff. I'm just full of cliches, y'all, all the time, every episode. I'm sorry, but it's true, and they're cliches for a reason. We can't do things alone.
Yeah, that self-made concept gets on my nerves. It's stupid. Nobody is self-made. I'm sorry. Y'all can fight me in the comments.
Leave a comment if you got beef, y'all.
Nobody is self-made.
Yeah.
Nobody. Like, and it's just, when you make yourself an island, nobody can come to you when you need help. So why would you want to make yourself an island? Why would you want to be self-made? Why would you not want to have a community of people that you can fall back on when chips are down, or when you don't feel like showing up, or just period? Like, I don't know what else to do.
Because chips aren't going to fall. They're going to be down. And then it's also, what are you, when you're an island, what are you doing to help anybody else? It's like, as you move up the ladder or whatever, I think it's so important to...
You the castaway.
Yeah, hello? And he made a ball talking to himself. I'm thinking like the movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We all need somebody. Everybody needs somebody at some time. I think that's really, really important, and I think passing it back, because everything that you've learned, like if you have all this wisdom and knowledge, what is the point of hoarding it?
You're robbing yourself. You're robbing others.
Yeah.
And you're really stunting your own growth, because there's a lot of connections I've made just from sharing my story with other people, and they can relate to different aspects of it. Mm-hmm. So it's like that builds bonds, that builds bridges. So it's like build more bridges.
Yeah. You needed help to get where you are.
Yeah, I didn't do this so much.
Not you specifically,
but that's just everybody. Like
everybody, we all need help to get to where we are.
Yeah,
and it's like so good to. And when you help someone else, even if it's something small, it helps you.
Yeah,
I feel like that. So it's like it's that proverb. I can't remember how it goes. I'm paraphrasing it like crazy, but it's like when you the scent of the rose stays on the giver.
Yes. Yes.
So I give you a rose, but my hand is still not smelling like a rose.
Yeah.
So you can't give without.
Like even here, you're giving, because you're giving me information. You're sharing different aspects with me. I'm sharing with you.
Yeah.
Not only that, your audience is learning from me. I'll be able to connect to your audience. I'll be able to expose you to my audience. So it's reciprocation all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reciprocity.
Yes. Which is, I think, so important. And the last thing I'll say on it, for me, when like the repetition too, of when I talk about this stuff all the time, it comes back up when I need it in my day. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that guy said that. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I need that today. So it really is just helpful all around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna respect your time. I have 2 more questions.
Yeah, definitely.
At least.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I made plenty of time for you, so we're not worried about time.
Thank you. It also, your bio also talks about trending on social media, and I know a lot of social media is very important, very important whether we like it or not. How does one trend on the social medias?
I don't think it's about being necessarily intentional. I think it's about being a great storyteller. So it's like you can have one post that just goes crazy because of the story. Like, I don't know, Risa Tisa, the girl that went crazy on TikTok for telling that crazy story of like, who did I marry?
Oh yes, I heard about that. I didn't hear it, but
I didn't watch the series,
right.
But it went crazy. It exploded because we naturally love stories. And so when I helped a tech company I was working with, as a Black-owned tech company, Battery Exchange, shout out to y'all. We did their crowdfund on social media. And so it was all about telling the story of who they are, their product, how does it help you if you're in a jam. So they had a wireless portable battery for events and different concerts. So it's like, if you're stuck somewhere and you don't want to put your phone in a locker, like you can walk around and enjoy the rest of the event while still charging your phone the whole entire time, you know? And so telling that story in a way where people could relate and bring their friends and family into it is what really like created a situation for us to raise the capital needed for them.
Yeah. I love that. Again, because we talked about that before, telling the story, because there's this guy that a comedian that I've been following on Instagram for like 10 years, probably longer now. But I saw his growth, and I was like, dang, he is telling me a story. I'm invested in his kids and his wife. It's not just his little jokes. I mean, not little jokes, but you know what I mean. Like, on the surface, you think I'm just following this person for their jokes. But then you see the comments, it's like, oh, your son grew up, your son's driving now, oh, your wife is so pretty, oh, she got a brand deal, like, oh, shout out to her, like, and then like so many shows and the evolution, and getting to watch the evolution is inspiring as well.
Yes.
Okay. So all you need to do on social media is tell a story.
Yeah, and show
in some
up.
capacity.
Yeah, to some capacity, like, and take ownership of that story. So if it's not your story, that's okay, but also like, how does it tie into your story? Like, don't just rob somebody else of their story just to fit a look. Like, make it into how it relates to you. I think the number one issue that we have with social media is that there's so much noise and so much, oh, buy this so you can look like me, or do this so you can look like, and it's like, no, just show up as you, like whatever it is that looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to look the same for everybody else, and how you're showing up as yourself will be beneficial to somebody else.
Okay. Authenticity. And showing up, because you said that part too. If you can't post one day,
yeah, creating some type of consistency. So if you know you can commit to posting 3 days out of the week, then do that. If you know you can only, be consistent with posting 2 days out of the week, okay, cool. I think, unless you're trying to make social media like a job for you, for yourself, don't take it so serious. Like, have fun with it. I think we've kind of lost sight of having fun with social media. It's a job. It's I'm trying to make this money. I'm trying to get this visibility. But it's like, didn't we all start off with posting pictures of our food and like these random angles of stuff? Oh, hey guys, look at the sky.
We've evolved, and now we want some money. We're like, wait a minute, you got what from social media? You said what? I want a piece of the pie.
Like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me pull out my camera.
I'm back over here just playing, and y'all over here balling out.
That's crazy.
I think there are still some folks who use it for fun, but
yeah,
if you can make some money.
If you make some money doing being you, if you can make money being you, that is true wealth. That's true freedom. Like, that's why I like doing what I do, because I make money being myself. So if I want to show up to work in a snapback and some joggers and a blazer, I can. Yeah. And if I want to show up suited and booted, I can as well. But either way of how I'm dressed and how I'm representing myself that day is still not going to change my intellect, how I talk to you, or anything.
Right. Okay. I like that part of still having fun on social media. I forgot about that. Yeah. I was like, please go subscribe. Please.
Yeah. And that's the part where it has, like, it can make people like, okay, I will subscribe, but what else about you? Can I learn something else about you? Like, can I, like, give me a reason to want to come back outside of just, you're telling me what I can do for you, but what can you do for me? How are you adding to me? Like,
right. That's so important. And I think about that a lot. Like, the content and what is it doing for people's lives, but I'm saving our lives.
She is.
So just subscribe so I can save other lives.
Really you're doing the Lord's work for real.
I'm out here saving lives. Like, I'm really like a saint. Like, oh my gosh. No, I'm just kidding. But I also trust that whoever's meant to be with your content will be.
Yep.
And so that's part of it too. So and trusting your authentic self.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Trusting your authentic self, and then just like knowing everything is timing. Like, it's not supposed to happen overnight. Like, I literally had a business that grew overnight, and it scared the hell out of me.
Somebody else told me that recently.
It's terrifying. You're not ready, and it can implode very quickly.
It blew up overnight. How did you feel? What was happening?
So I had, this is like 2016. 2016, I'm probably like, 22 around this time, 22. And I have been working as an HR assistant for a icicle company, which is very odd. I was in a group called Looking for Employment in Atlanta. Even though I was still in Seattle, my sister added me to the group and was like, yeah, if you're gonna move out here, you should be in this group. So I'm seeing people in the group every day on Facebook posting, I can't get no job, nobody's hiring, yada, yada, yada. And so I'm looking at resumes every day. And so I posted a picture of my resume because usually, like, my whole career, I think I would only go maybe 2 to 3 weeks without a job if I was ever fired or I fired myself. So a lot of people always ask me, like, damn, how you get hired so quickly? So when I posted my resume in the group, I was like, most of y'all just don't know how to show up on y'all resumes. And that's why you aren't getting calls back for the interviews. And I had about 1,000 people comment on that post. And literally, probably within 24 hours, 300 people asked me if I could make their resumes. I had no plans of doing a resume business or anything. So I was like, how much you charge? How much you charge? 20, 30, 50, 60? Oh, y'all willing to pay? They're like, yeah, send me the invoice. Okay. And when people started paying me, I was like, oh, I got to make this a business. So I literally built a business overnight. And I think probably 30 days later, I was like so exhausted from the overwhelm of like people that were coming through. I didn't know what to charge because I was just like, this was something that came natural to me, but it was just like overwhelming. And like over time, I got it and I created a system, and I even was able to sell that business. But it was just like, it took a lot to get that to happen. I think at one point I even shut down the business and I told people like, hey, like I'm not accepting any more resume orders or anything.
I'm writing down the question because I want to remember. But how did you sell it?
So I pretty much got in contact with another woman that was doing resumes and career coaching. And I told her, I said, look, like I got a wait list and I want to get out of this business. Because I had an investor reach out to me who wanted to invest in my business. And then when I showed him how much I'm charging versus how much time goes into each order, because I was also doing I was coaching them on their interviews. So like I had like a felon, he did like 17 years in the feds, and I got him hired within 60 days, making like $30 an hour. So I was like really trying to move people from, what basic job are you at? Let me put you in a career somewhere so you can really improve your life. And so the investor was like, he said, I want to invest in your business, but you don't make enough money for me. Like, there's not enough profit margin here. Like, you basically run a charity. Because as an investor, it's all about how much money can we exploit out of this business. It's not about constantly the impact. For some investors, it is. For a lot of them, they're like, where's the money? And so he was just like, yeah, this is not enough money for me to like want to, chip in with you. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And so when he said that, though, it kind of opened my mind to a lot of things of like what I was doing with clients was helping them learn how to market themselves and brand themselves to get the career that they needed. And so I was like, I want to move into that lane. Like, how can I exit out of this gracefully? And so like I reached out to a girl that did resume and coaching. I said, hey, I got a wait list. I got the templates. I got the whole business built for you. I'll literally give it to you and sell it to you. And she was like, what's your number? Let's do it.
And you drove the paperwork and there were lawyers involved. I always want to point out that part to people because we hear stories and people don't talk about the nitty gritty stuff. Just like when we talk about entrepreneurs. Got it, y'all. I tried to say it real bad. You did. So she consulted me on how to say the word. But we never talk about the nitty gritty and the details. And it's like, oh, no, obviously you can't give people everything. You can't spoon feed them everything. They have to go through it themselves. But just know like the basics. Like if you're from a completely different world, you don't think about why I get all this money. I have to make sure other lawyers look at this. I have to make sure they are things are my T's are crossed, my I's are out.
Yeah, and then you get to the point where like now I can read contracts better than lawyers.
Okay,
so like I build my own contracts and I like evaluate them.
Well, who drew up the contracts before the lawyers?
Yeah, okay. And then I realized there were clauses that they weren't putting in there that would be in better benefit of me. And I was like, wait a minute, why y'all not putting this in there?
Just so people kind of have an idea of what's normal. Because it's easy to get swindled when you don't know.
Yes. And so I think over time, like, and then that's the other thing, like, don't be afraid to call multiple people. Because sometimes we'll make that one call and we're like, damn, that's the price. Whew, I guess I'm going to just not have to do it. Like, no, call multiple people and ask them, hey, can you send me your rate sheet? And that rate sheet includes what services they offer at what price. And then look on their website to see how long they've been doing it. Look at their reviews. Like, do your due diligence, because there are a lot of people out there that are bad at their job. Mm-hmm. So it's like, or they may be burnt out from their job. And so they're just kind of like, I'm just doing this because it's easy money. And it's like, my money's not easy. I worked hard for my money. Right. So I want you to take care of me and respect me and my money.
Yeah. So. And this isn't something you should skimp on.
No. And then, like I said, you just ask them questions while they're reviewing it and they're making their slashes and edits. Hey, why'd you put that? Why is this clause there? Like, and I started asking questions. And then that's when I realized, like, they're not fully protecting me. And so I started researching, like, the terms and conditions when you log into Facebook. Like, I literally read their terms and conditions, and I was just like, ooh, I should put some of those clauses into my contracts. I should. Yeah.
All that information is at our fingertips,
literally. Literally. Oh and people be like, and so, like, when I learned that, okay, I'm a service provider, I'm providing services for people, I need a service contract. So a service agreement saying, like, hey, if you're engaging in business with me, these are the terms and conditions you're agreeing to. They're not changing. Mm-hmm. This is what it is. You don't go on Instagram and say, oh, I need to change these terms and conditions. You agree to it by automatic submission. And so that's where I really started being more diligent about, like, the contracts and the different things that I want to represent and protect me, because nobody's going to protect you like yourself, unfortunately.
Right. It's just the reality of it. Mm-hmm. It's like how I'm thinking about that, though, because even like in other parts with my career, as like I expect for it to grow, and I'm saying this for the listeners. There's still going to be some of the boring stuff, but you have to do it, right? Even if you hire people, that we were talking about delegating, even if you hire people,
you gotta cross-check them.
Yes. So, okay, how bad you want it?
Yeah.
With a lot of money becomes a lot of responsibility. Yeah. That's what we're hearing.
Yeah. I had to fire a staff of 6 people that worked for me all at the same time because they were not doing what they were supposed to do. One person was riding my clock and saying that they was working, but where's your output? Mm-hmm. How come I don't have these things done, but you want to get paid? I don't understand.
Right.
So you have to double check people. Like, even like I've hired accountants and having them do my taxes. And then when I was trying to apply for a house, I found out that they didn't file my taxes. And I'm like,
and we hear stories like this. Yeah. We hear stories. But if you don't know how to do taxes, how do you double check your tax person?
Well, see, here's the thing. Because they were referred to me by a very close person,
right?
I automatically trusted them. So I didn't do my due diligence because I've been doing taxes for my parents since I was like 14. Okay. So I didn't do my due diligence to ensure. I just trusted them. I was like, they're going to give me the same service that they give to so-and-so. So that way I'm going to be good. I'm not going to have to worry about this person, but worry about everybody.
Yeah.
No. Until you don't have to worry about them anymore and still worry about them.
That is no, for real. That is a huge lesson. And not even in business, but in life in general. Mm-hmm. There's been so many times somebody who I've known for years, who I trusted, told me this person was cool. Mm-hmm. I didn't listen to my discernment. Right. I didn't even pay attention. I was like, oh, they're good. Yeah. And then I started telling them something or doing something with them. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Are you fucking kidding me? Because everybody doesn't act the same with everybody.
At all.
And so
because you just automatically, you're like, well, I trust that person. And when I looked up the definition of trust, it's literally like, this person has my best interests at heart at all times.
Yep.
And so that person may have their best interests at heart because they have whatever bond or whatever.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that they have it for you.
And the person who referred you to them, that's the relationship and experience that they have with each other. You're building your own separate relationship, and you got to pay attention.
Yes.
You got to pay attention. I seen that. Sorry, I got triggered, y'all.
Yeah. But that's the thing. And that's business. That what I tell people all the time is, like, in business, you're going to constantly be triggered. And if you don't deal with your personal trauma, it's going to bleed into every aspect of your business. And you're going to be upset. You're going to burn a lot of bridges. You are going to make a reputation for yourself that's not great. But the good thing is that you can come back from it once you've done the work on yourself to really get in front of it and say, you know what, I'm going to show up differently now in spaces.
Yeah. Okay. Have you done that?
Yes. I definitely always like to speak from my own personal experience. So yeah.
I think I got passionate because this is not defending myself because I'm not really apologizing for being passionate because this show is to save lives.
Yeah.
And I got passionate because it's serious.
Yeah.
To be discerning and figure out relationships for yourself. It's very serious business. Something you said about the business when you sold it, that's another thing that I've been hearing consistently. Like I've been going to more conferences with people in tech and business owners, and like one person who sticks out to me is Calendly, the guy who created Calendly. And when I went to the A3C conference, but that's when I first learned. If you're not from this world, you don't know.
Right.
And that's where I first learned, people are starting businesses to sell them. It's never to keep them. And even when I went in that room where I said Maryland was a country, everybody in there was like, yeah, I just sold a business. Right. I was like, oh, is that how it works? Okay. I didn't say that. I was like, yeah. Just listening, but I was like, damn, that's just something that I didn't know. Why does everyone sell their business?
Well, so all right, so me, the owner of Concierge of Small Biz CSB, the biggest thing with that business is people know me as a concierge, right? Because I'm a consultant, I do various different things across various different business types. However, if I want to really grow the business, I have to grow it independently of myself. So what does that mean? That means I have to start training other strategists to be consultants under me and slowly introduce them to clients so that way I can slowly back away. That means I have to make sure the support team that facilitates all the client support is who and where they need to be. So that way, when I wake up one day and say, okay, yeah, I don't want to meet with clients anymore, because that's what's going to inevitably happen, I can say this business is built so great that I can hand it off to somebody else and I can sell it to somebody else, and it's actually worth something because we've figured out all the kinks, we have a good reputation, we have the clientele, we are a profitable business, so we're not in the red, we've kept our expenses low. So at that point it's like, oh, how much do you want? And it's like, you can't take everything with you when you die.
Yeah.
And on top of that, a lot of people say, oh, I'm building this for my kids. Your kid's not gonna want your business. I'm sorry.
That's one of the
they not. and that's okay.
That's one of the things that kind of bug me. It's like, I don't know, I think that keeps you almost trapped.
Yeah.
Because you stay attached to something that you gotta let go.
Yeah, like at the same instance, Apple wouldn't be what it is if Steve Jobs was like, no, I'm not going to expand it. I'm not going to have investors. I'm not going to, like, Apple wouldn't be nothing. It would still be in the garage.
Yeah.
And you have to have that foresight of, if this is going to be something that outlives me, I'm going to have to carry it, give it to somebody that can continue it, and they're going to have to give it to somebody. The best thing I can do if I want my family to benefit from it is I can sell part of the company and say, hey, I'm still a member of the board. My family, whoever is in my family tree is going to be a member of the board, and we are automatically owed 25% of annual revenue regardless. Forever and ever, for the lifetime of this business, even if y'all sell it 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah. Because I know, I can't speak for everyone, but I know in our culture, we talk a lot about, like, this is the first generation doing these kinds of things. And I think it's so important to just educate ourselves on how it's going. I'm not saying you can't change the game or whatever, but how it's been going, for what I'm hearing, we're on the street. We're on the street, y'all. I got this just in. They've been selling their businesses forever. And they don't even create them to keep them.
No.
That's what I'm hearing. No. Like, you just train it up to get it. To sell it.
Like, Walmart is Walmart, not because, oh, we've got to keep it. Like, no, we're going to sell parts of it. We're going to gain investors. We're going to secure certain loans. And there's a lot of transactions being made on the back end that keeps Walmart afloat, that keeps Walmart still prominent, that keeps McDonald's still prominent.
And if we're starting a business, we're definitely not inventing the wheel. So there's so much that we can reference. And I think too, it's like it goes when people are like, it's just business. It's like that's when you have to take the emotions out of it. I know we talked about fear and those emotions and stuff to get things started, but like being attached to the business and being emotional about it that's when you start making bad business decisions, right?
Yes. If you become so attached to it to where you're like, I remember at one point early in my career when I switched from the resumes to okay, now I'm really focused on being a brand developer. I remember, I think it was probably like my second client, and they did something, I forgot what it was, and I was like, yo, they trying to play me. I was like, they playing with me, like they don't respect me, blah, 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 blah. And like looking back on it now, if I were to be mentoring my younger self, I would say, hey, why are you triggered by their emotions? What is it that this is reminding you of in your personal life? I got you feeling like they trying to play you in your business life.
And that's a emotional maturity. Yeah. Because even I'm a producer by day, and I've been triggered by things that the clients or contractor has done so many times, and I'm like, well, luckily some team members have had to like, why are you so
exactly?
What is the whoa, what is it? What's going on here? This is more than that.
Right.
And so, now that's trained me to ask myself that question. Mm-hmm. It just happened recently, and I was like, all right, let's step away from the laptop.
Right.
What's going on here? Because things will always come up. You don't fix your trigger, and then you learn your trigger, and then it never comes back. You just so I was like, okay, I got to step back from the laptop before I respond.
Right.
Let me vent
before you get the Twitter fingers.
First off, F you and the click you claim.
Exactly.
That's first of all. You're the wrong one. And secondly, like
you out there with the hands looking crazy. You're not about to be talking to me like this.
Send it all caps. Like first of all, so I was like, all right, let me. Because I don't talk like that to anybody.
Right.
So I was like, let me go. And then if I can't vent to someone, someone's not around who I trust, then I've learned to vent to myself.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be walking around my apartment like, this shit was, wow. And then it's like, you learn some new information about yourself and like how you're responding to something rather than just going on that. You ain't gonna get far.
No, not at all. Unfortunately, no.
You're not gonna get far. You don't even want to act like that,
though.
No. It's not helpful to anybody. No. It's really not.
And it make you look crazy. Like it make people be like, I would do business with her, but like, you got some problems. Like, and you be like, but I'm really not. Like,
this is where it comes. Like, I know we always like be yourself. This is when authenticity is not your friend.
No.
This is when you got put on the business. Like,
yes,
all right, I gotta deal with that later.
Right.
But right now, let me fix this. And yeah, that's when it comes in handy to not be yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember the best business advice I ever got. He was a congressman, and he told me he was like, you know what the problem is? you know what the problem is? And I was like, I'm gonna let you get this off because I want to see where this goes. And he was like, you know what the problem is with women like you. And right, usually people say something that's gonna make you be offended when they start out stuff like that. And he was like, you guys want to be so respected by men in the business world. You present yourself and act more masculine when in all actuality your superpower is your femininity. And I was like, okay.
Getting older, I wouldn't even say getting older, getting wiser.
Right.
I've learned that like femininity is a power, and being a woman I think whatever you are in this world has a privilege.
Definitely.
I don't care what gender, what race, what
all
size,
has a privilege.
what height, where you from. Somewhere. It has a privilege in it. So that's why I never think of myself. Well, I didn't say never, but I mostly think about myself in the terms of what my privileges are. Because, listen, own them.
Yeah,
own your privileges. Like I'm not saying abuse them.
Right.
But be aware of your power. Right. And so as I get older, I always used to be like, I'm still wrestling with it, but I'm learning now. Like, oh well, if you're attractive, you can use that for this, that, and this. And I'm like, I don't want to. No, that's gross. I want to be seen for my mind. Like, well, honey.
Yeah, like, no.
Well, you got some other stuff to use. You got some other tools. Yeah. And some other things that you were born with that you can use. Yeah. And so there's nothing wrong with that. And that's I think really important that women have this power that we often push away.
Yes, and we resent it because at some point it may have been abused at one point.
For sure.
And taken advantage of. So then we're like, oh no, like I'm hard body to the core. And it's like, no, like it's okay. It sucks that has happened. Right. But also at the same instance, you don't have to like live under that. Right. You can live above it and all right, I'm gonna put my feet on it. And we planted here, and I'm still going to show up as me, as my feminine self, and just being able to walk in a room like, yeah, I'm bruised, I'm whatever, but baby, I'm that.
Yeah. No, I love that you said the why in that, because I didn't even think about that. There is a why behind I don't want to use that like why we have acquired some masculine traits, but I would say more protective traits.
Yeah.
And so there's a reason, but okay, like you said, own it, and we can do different things and get further by doing that. I also don't want to say like I'm not advocating exploiting yourself at all.
No,
but it's just like owning something that is natural to you instead of trying to be a man.
Yeah, definitely. I would say if you're going to exploit anything, exploit your mind to think outside of the box with whatever it is you're trying to do.
You think we'll still have the power in our 60s and 70s as women?
Yeah, what?
All right.
You see Felicia Rashad.
Right. She's in her feminine power.
She is. She's always exuded.
Yes. But brains too.
Yes.
No one has ever, you know what I mean? Like she's in class.
Yes.
She doesn't like, I keep saying the word exploit now, but like she doesn't just, I don't want to say cheap, but the low hanging fruit of exploiting her body.
Right.
It's like, I'm beautiful. I own that, but I also have a beautiful mind.
Exactly. Too. And I feel like that's what, there's a disconnect with like our generation and like that generation because it's like we're not getting all of that. We did when we were younger, but it's like, okay, wait a minute, now I need this. So like, can y'all give it to me now?
Yes. No, that's so true. That's a something to sit back and process and ponder on of how am I going to use my power, but for real, in a way that feels good to you,
right? And
again, practice.
Yep.
The first day you try it,
well, let me exude femininity.
I'm so feminine today.
I'm so poised.
Poised. I'm just a lady. I still work on grace and poise. I obviously don't have it in my show, but in the room, I try. I have that mindset of like, how am I thinking about being conscious and intentional about how I'm presenting myself.
Right.
This is my show, so I should go to behave the way I want.
Yeah.
Until I get my investors. Like, hey, we got to change some things up if we got to. But I think there's some compromise in there. But I do think being able to just be intentional, and know what you want out of a room, what you're giving to the room.
Yes.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
So the way I act on here.
The way you act on here is great. I always tell people power doesn't concede without demand. And that's something like my mom constantly does. Power does not concede without demand. So power is not going to bow down unless you make a demand. And if you're not making demands, that means you're taking the orders. So at the same instance, like you said, when you walk into this room, what is it that you want to demand out of the room? That doesn't mean you got to be forceful,
right?
But demands is being intentional. Like, hey, like I said, I'm leaving here with something. So I'm leaving here with a contact. I'm leaving here with a new perspective. I'm leaving here with a resource or information. What is the demand that you're making in your relationships with people?
Yeah, for sure. What am I intentionally giving in exchange for the things that I want? Is that how?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's very important to do that. Like, okay, what do I want to provide in this space, right? And then thinking about it, and what do I want to provide in this space that's not going to drain me? Because we give so much of ourselves to so many different things, we don't think about like, okay, how can I still give to this without like putting myself under?
I just thought about that yesterday because I was praying and I was like, bless this, bless that, and then I was like, wait a minute, I need to bless myself. What does self-care actually look like, and what can I do to bless myself?
Right.
I think that's really important, and that just came to me yesterday.
I have a reward system for myself. I give myself rewards, like swear, because I'm like, what's the point of doing all this hard work and you not rewarding yourself? Like,
yes,
you want other people to reward you, but you don't reward yourself. Make it make sense.
No, it's so true. It is so important. But anyway,
yeah, that's how Concierge and Small Biz got started. Like that was my concept. Was I moved away from being a brand developer to I want to create an agency where we focus on entrepreneurs not getting burnt out by building their businesses better and stronger.
Yeah.
So we can focus on all the things you're not focusing on, all the little things that sporadically you think about but you don't execute or you don't look into. That's where we're there. We're there to create CEO routines. So I'll tell you, hey, daily, monthly, weekly, this is what you should be doing every day. This is the processes you should have. Here's when you should actually hire your first employee. Like those are things that for a lot of us, you don't know and you have no way of figuring out. Like you're going to learn the hard way and then you're going to resent your business. Yeah. And then that's when you're like, oh my God, like I'm tired of business. Yeah. And so I was just like, this is a problem and I want to do something about it.
I love that. You see a problem, excuse me, you fix it. Okay, real quick. Resume tip. 3 resume tips. Because everybody doesn't want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, right? Definitely.
So if they're working on their resume, what are 3 things you would say to make sure?
I would say number 1, research the company to figure out what their culture is like. So if their culture is they want more intrapreneur-minded employees, which means they want problem-solving employees that are self-starting and all that stuff. And if you know that's who you are at your core, work with that business. But if you know you're like, I just want to show up, they got the plan for me, and then that's how I show up, then you find a culture that works for you and you put that into your resume that, hey, like I follow processes well, I do this, I do that. If you're more the entrepreneur, put on there that, hey, you are forward thinking and you know how to problem solve. So really looking at the culture and then also just applying for a job that you actually want. And it's so simple, but it's like, it's something that like, I know bills and a lot of different things make us settle. Yes. But don't let it make you settle. Like there is a job out there for you if that's really what you want to do. Find a job that you're going to get fulfilled in, because I've worked with people who've been at a job for like, let's say 20 years. Why are you still showing up to work for 20 years? I like was asking them that because I wanted to know what is making you still show up here every day. And that's because they were being fulfilled by the job. So find a place where you will be fulfilled and you like feel like, hey, like I have a spot here. Like I'm not just another employee. And find a job that actually cares about their people. Sorry, but
it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah. That's why I like small businesses. That's why I encourage like all of my clients, like, hey, hire within your community, because there's a lot of people in your community that will help really build your business up. And they are coming from a corporate background. They're tired of being abused and mistreated. You came from a corporate background more than likely and tired of being misused and mistreated. So it's like, there's a way that harmony is created, and small businesses actually provide more jobs than corporations.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're fulfilled at work,
you do better.
You do so much better.
Yeah.
I have seen that firsthand. Okay, last time I looked at the clock, it was not this time. Like, it was a different time. I'll close this out. But what does success mean to you?
Success to me is being able to help the people closest to me and the people that are not close to me. So, like, if I can help a business owner or a friend or anybody today, and then they're gonna go and help 5 other people, like, that is success for me. And just having like my freedom, like my time is like the biggest thing. Like, if I want to go get pasta at like 11 o'clock and drink a bottle of wine, I can. Or if I want to go fly up to Seattle and visit my mom for a whole month, I can, and I don't have to worry about, like, what's gonna happen, or oh, I'm gonna get fired.
Yeah. No, for real. Freedom. Okay. Well, how do you feel?
I feel great. This was awesome. You're killing it with these interviews.
Thank you. I feel like I'm like this right now because I feel like I'm processing so much information that you gave us today, and I'm excited to explore it. Okay, well, I'll close us out.
Yeah.
And
you guys can definitely follow me on social media. On Instagram is my preferred network, official_Julia, Julia CEO, or you can email me at founder@conciergeofsmallbiz.com.
And that will be in the show notes. Yes. And thank you, Julia, CEO Shannon.
Thank you
for sharing your time with me and inspiring listeners to redefine success for themselves.
Definitely.
You can find out more about Julia, where she just said, and check the show notes. I promise it will be there as well. Please check her out. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Again, I ask that you subscribe to the You Plus Happy channel because I will save your life.
Definitely.
And share with someone, anyone. And follow the show on Instagram at You Plus Happy if you would like to. And I ask the guests to say the tagline, which is, we'll show you our definition of success if you show us yours.
All right. We'll show you our definition of success if you show us yours. So be sure to subscribe, tune in. And thank you guys for checking us out.
Thank you. What a pro. You did the closeout.
I'm learning from the best right here.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.